Good morning. My name is Ryan Bowles. I'm the Regional Sales Director for the South of Cork. Thank you for coming along today. I'll probably be talking for about half an hour, I guess, and then we'll have time at the end for any questions. So please, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to send them in. So today we're going to look at the Trimble S5, the ultimate workhorse, and also we'll look at locate to protect asset tracking. So our mission at Cork is to help people, businesses and organisations be as effective as they can be, and we do that through providing solutions. Some of those solutions you can now see on the screen, whether it be for surveying, mapping, rail, industries, we've got a number of solutions available, whether it be from total stations, GPS, track measuring devices, or even UAVs. So we're working across the full platform. Today, however, we're going to concentrate on the total station, and we're going to look at the Trimble S5. Now, it's quite interesting. We spend an awful lot of time looking at the latest and greatest. Anyone that follows Cork or any of our guys on social media will know that there's an awful lot of interest around at the minute around the SX10. Well, sometimes it's nice just to take a bit of a step back and have a look at where some of this technology's come from, and actually looking at some of the more entry-level equipment and just seeing how that's being utilised today. We don't always go for the big, flashy, latest, greatest instrument. The S5 has certainly got its place. So, a very brief agenda there. What we're going to have a look at is the main features of the Trimble S5: mag drive, active tracking, shore point, integrated survey, and the ruggedness as well. Then we'll have a look at Trimble Locate to Protect. We'll have a look at the specialist application in monitoring, a brief view over the controllers available today, and also the Trimble Connect, which is the information sharing platform. So straight into some of the main features then. So Trimble Mag Drive has been around in the S series for a long time now, but it's the same technology that's used to propel trains. And what does it mean? Well, it means you can rotate faster. There's less friction in the system, so there's less noise. But also, there's less wear and tear because there's less moving parts, which should enable the instruments to last longer. Perhaps need less servicing. What it also enables us to do is give advanced error compensation, which gives us fast and accurate measurement. So, the mag drive system here, it's in the S5, 7, 9, it's even in the SX10 as well. So it's a well-proven system. Next in line, we have the active tracking. So active tracking is a fantastic system which basically tells the instrument what to track. By sending out an ID similar to that your remote control might use, you set the ID on the Prism 128, and then you set the same ID on the instrument itself. And what this means is, if you're on a site where there's lots of high-vis jackets, lots of cars going around, lots of people generally milling around, very busy site, your instrument's not going to be interested in anything other than what's sending out the ID that it's been told to track, i.e. your Prism. So for a long time we've had the MT1000, which is the Dalek-like Prism. And more recently, we've introduced the AT360. Now, the benefit of the AT360, you can see there's a level bubble, so that Bluetooth connects to your controller, so you've got a heads-up display on the controller at all times to see how level your Prism is, which can be really handy, especially if you're not always working with a pogo. Perhaps you're setting out and you've got it on a small pin. That can be really beneficial. What does active tracking do? Well, it gives you peace of mind. It's quite easy to tell if your instrument is locked onto your RO target or if it's pointing in the other direction because it's following a car. What's not so easy to see is perhaps if it's locked onto the illuminated strip on your high-vis jacket on your shoulder, because to all intents and purposes, as you're looking at the instrument, it's looking directly back at you. But if you're using an active track system, it's going to be looking back at you at the target that you're carrying rather than any of the reflective clothing that you're wearing. Essentially, it gives peace of mind that you're collecting the correct information. Move on to shore point. So shore point essentially corrects any errors in the tuning and access. So perhaps you're set up on a cold day and the ground's defrosting, or hot day and the tarmac's melting, or you're on a site and there's lots of plant moving around, sorts of vibrations. All of these things can have an effect on how the instrument is sitting, and although perhaps small, will have an effect on the position. What SurePoint allows for is the accurate pointing and measurement every time you take a shot, because it corrects against these issues. So integrated surveying, or IS surveying, is something that Trimble have done for a long time, and it works very well. Essentially, it means connecting to both your total station and the GPS at the same time with the same logger, working within the same job and workflow. Now, what this can do is, for start off, you can actually reduce the station setups. If you've got that one little setup perhaps around the corner where you just need to pick up a few bits of detail, do you need to put a new total station setup in there? Do you need to put a new leg in? Or actually, could you just click the screen, switch to GPS, and then disappear around the corner and measure those points with the GPS? It allows you to speed up your time on site. Also, it helps with setting up your control, or setting up satellite stations, as it were. Using the GPS, you're no longer restricted to your control network. You can simply place the station where it suits the job in hand, and then reset that unit in using the GPS in a very seamless fashion. And lastly, with GPS search, this is a great feature, whether you're using the GPS on top of the prism or you're using the GPS that's built into the controller itself. What you can do is just press your search icon, and essentially the instrument will just turn to where you are stood. And that's illustrated, you can see in the video in the top right hand corner. So GPS search works a lot faster than your standard search, because it's simply looking for you. So one of the things we always talk about when we talk about Trimble is ruggedness. And what you can see here, this is actually an S7, but it's part of the S series range, and so the S5 is absolutely no different here. We were so confident. I actually did this personally a few months back now, that one day, we just thought, right, how can we prove the ruggedness of the system? So one day we thought, right, let's just do it. So we set up a camera in the shower. Obviously that did cause a few questions, but we did it anyway. And then we placed an instrument in there. And we placed it in there all day with the shower running, and we set it up to measure rounds of angles. And you can see there the amount of water that's coming down. And I can assure you there was absolutely no issues with this instrument afterwards. Obviously we had to dry it off and take care as you would with any instrument. But the proof is in the pudding. We have no problem with setting that up in a shower all day. And therefore I'd have no problem setting out or surveying in the rain. I'm pretty sure the surveyors would give up before the instrument would. Whether it's a good thing or not, we don't know. So one of the latest features that's causing an awful lot of attention, or getting a lot of attention at the minute, is Locate to Protect. So Locate to Protect is a tracking system used for our total stations. Essentially, it's a GPS and a modem with a G-Shock sensor built into the gubbins of the total station, and that's in the S5, it's in the S7, and it's in the S9. We can also put it into older instruments as well, so whether it be the S6, 8, and 3. It uses a web-based platform to actually run the system called AllTrack. We can actually use the system to create alerts, either entering or leaving a geofence, and also G-Shock alerts as well. Now the G-Shock alerts are an interesting one, so you can set it, if the instrument has a knock, you can set it at different values. You will get an email. So that's great if you're running a fleet of kit, because all of a sudden you get an email saying that such and such serial number has had a knock. Now it might be that there's nothing wrong with the instrument, but it might be also prudent to put it on a baseline and check it out. Has the knock thrown out of calibration? It's worth checking these things out. In the past, we'd have no idea what happens to an instrument before when it goes from A to B. Whereas now we've got a really good understanding of how the equipment's looked after. I'll talk about the geofence in a minute, because I've got a nice picture that illustrates that. The last point there, helps recover stolen instruments, and that today is a huge issue for our industry. It seems you can't go a day without more and more equipment coming up on social media being flagged as stolen. Just looking back for the last couple of months, you know, these are clips that I've taken from Twitter and LinkedIn, just showing the amount of different instances that we've seen, and sadly it's becoming quite a common occurrence. Now, we're never going to eradicate this. You know, this is an industry-wide issue, but what we can do is work to maybe lessen the pain, you know, fight against it, not literally, but there are things that we can do to try and keep our instrumentation safe. Now, it's great. Recently, you know, we've now had 5 incidents of instruments where they've been reported as stolen, and we've actually recovered equipment. 2 have been collected from caches, so where we've had 2 instruments on separate occasions stolen, and then perhaps they've been cached by the side of the road or behind a wall, and then the user has logged on to the all-track interface, located the instrument on their browser, and then gone to the location and actually picked the instrument up again. And that's fantastic. You know, in the past, that would never have happened. You know, the instrument would have gone from the site or where it was stolen from, and it was gone. You know, the chances of you know, the police getting involved or of you seeing that equipment again, other than it flagging up on eBay, you know, it was pretty slim. You know, the next step up is where we've had 3 police investigations, and this I find really exciting, because you know, there was a big talk at Geo Business with the TSA a year or so ago, and one of the things that came out of that, and it was a little concern, was the fact that, you know, it was deemed that actually the police weren't interested. You know, several times they've been given information and they didn't react. Well, what is fantastic to see now, you know, when we go to the police with a location and we can say the instrument is here, they've proven that they are willing to react, and they have done. So on 3 separate instances, we've had the police go out and retrieve equipment. On one occasion, again, the TSA released a statement on social media asking people to look through a list and get in touch, because we managed to track 1 tow station with Locator Protect, and it actually led us to 30+ units, you know, a mixture of Trimble, Topcon and Leica. All of these units found due to 1 system having Locator Protect in it, and that actually led to a full prosecution as well. So, you know, it's very warming to see that, you know, the police are willing to get involved when we've got the information for them. In fact, just last week we had an occasion where an instrument was stolen. Actually, one of our hire instruments was stolen out of a customer van, and then the next morning they phoned us for just to check the information on it. The location was given to the police. We had a phone call then from the police shortly before once they were on site, just to confirm that it was still in the same location. And then later on in the afternoon, we had a phone call from the police saying, yeah, everything's recovered. We've got your kit here. We'll be able to release it to you. And that's a fantastic story. You know, it's a really nice place to be when we start to see equipment coming back. As I said, we're never going to stop it. It's an industry-wide issue, and there's other issues that we need to look at there. But what Locate Protect allows us to do is to try and combat it, and combat the issues that face us when the instruments do go missing. So a bit about all-track. So this is the interface that you see if you log onto the system. You can see there on the left-hand side, Brian Coogan's highlighted, and you can see in the middle there a serial number. So that's his, that would be a Trimble S5, I believe, his demo unit. And on the right-hand side, you can see a little map, and we can see the pinpoint coordinates there of where his system is. And you can even click on the satellite view. It's just a Google map, and you can see the satellite view as well. So you can get a really good idea as to where the instrument's located. Incidentally, when we located that stash of 30 units, what we did was we used this screen to pinpoint where it was. We then went on to Google Earth and managed to use Street View to look at the self-storage facility and locate the CCTV cameras. From those CCTV cameras, we gave all those positions to the police, and they actually used that and the timings we gave them for it getting to site to then search a very short window of CCTV footage to actually then pinpoint who the guy was that took the equipment there. So, the system does work. I talked about geofences earlier, so this is in the centre of that cluster there. You can see our head office in Huntston, where all our operations are, and we've got a geofence drawn around the outside of that. So at any stage, if any instrumentation leaves or comes back into that geofence, we will get an email notification. Needless to say, if we get a notification come through at 1 o'clock in the morning, chances are we've got a bit of an issue. But that would work just the same whether it's our head office or any individual site. Very easy to set up. So I often get asked about the pricing of the system, and it's no different. If you've got an iPhone, and you're using Find My Phone or whatever, that all comes under your minutes, your data plan. And L2P is no different. It's subscription based. So the actual subscription itself is £300 for the year, and it's obviously renewable year by year. We do sell a core internal care package, and we do have one that includes Locate to Protect with it as well, which it does make absolute sense. It's one of those things. It's like spending money out on insurance for a car. We all begrudge doing it, but the moment we have a prank or the car gets stolen, that's when you actually appreciate having that cover. And I've got a couple of examples here. I won't read them out to you, but you can see. I've just highlighted a few quotes there. Paul Williams from Sumo Services. It was their instrument actually that was stolen that led us to that big cash. And the use of L2P has quite literally saved us thousands of pounds. And it has. I can assure you of that, because we didn't sell them another instrument to replace it. So it literally has, and it has for many other people as well. So we'll talk about the monitoring application, or the specialist application for monitoring, with the Trimble S5 TIM monitoring total station. So this is a different unit to the S5. This is not an auto-lock unit. It's still an S5, but it's auto-lock rather than robotic. And effectively what it gives us is a cost-effective monitoring solution, and it's ideal for construction projects of any size. It's got Locate to Protect in it, so you've got that reassurance. What it's also got is fine lock technology and the Trimble DR Plus CDM. The key behind it all, though, is the combination with Trimble 4D control software, which will give you real-time notifications for structural movements. And you can use these systems as a standalone, or you can plug in as many instruments as you want into 4D control, if you've got a larger project. So it grows as and when required. So I mentioned fine lock technology there. Now, fine lock came out with the S8 originally. It's now within the S7 and the S9. And what fine lock does is effectively, it sounds like the name, it gives you a fine field of view. So if you're sighting down a linear object, perhaps through a tunnel or down a rail, what fine lock does is, firstly, it helps you differentiate between the prisms if they're close together for more accurate measurement. The next thing it does is it actually helps you aim more accurately. So if you think that you're aiming manually to a target, that's probably the sort of thing you do, maybe exaggerated, but to get to the center of the target. What fine lock does is it actually takes 670 aimings per measurement. So that's slowed down, but that's effectively what it's doing, which gives you the real high-end accuracy. Now, again, we do have long-range fine lock, but that goes up to the S7. Chances are with the monitoring, you're not going to use that. But it's useful for all engineering applications, rail, monitoring, and tunneling. So the S5, again, entry level, but breaking out into all different applications. So we'll have a look at the field controllers. So the TSC3 has been around for a while. Very good rugged controller, running Trimble Access, onboard camera, GPS and modem. So the GPS is just the handheld GPS. You're not going to use it for measuring anything, but that's what we use for the GPS search. And we've also got the modem, which is used for dialing into perhaps the PRS corrections if you're using GPS, or for sending information backwards and forward to the office. It's got a nice physical keyboard and a 4.2-inch display. The right hand side, we've got the new Trimble T10 tablet. So this was released at Intergeo earlier in the year, and we'll start seeing these in January. So new 10-inch large touchscreen. So, and we're using Windows operating system 10 as well. So all up to date. Onboard camera. It's actually got hot swappable batteries as well now, which means it's quite a nice light system. Again, it's got built-in GPS and also a modem. So again, you can use it for sending information backwards and forwards. What I really like about this is the attachment to the keyboard if you want it as well. So you can literally take this into the field and start processing data on the controller effectively. So a nice addition there from Trimble. So both those controllers are driven by Trimble Access. So Trimble Access has grown up from Survey Controller and it's been a very similar platform over the years. It's been very well developed. It's an icon-driven interface, and it does have optional modules, but these are focused around very specialized applications, whether you're looking at roads, tunnels, mines. There are applications being written all the time, and what these applications do is they're effectively workflows, taking the strength from the features that have already been written within General Survey. So within General Survey, which is the standard platform, you're already getting probably 99.9% of anything you'd ever want to use. And that's the really nice thing about Access. You're not having to pay more for things that actually you'd expect as standard. So whether you're measuring, setting out, or you're calculating areas, volumes, you're measuring rounds, all these things are standard. So one platform does all, which if you're able to limit the amount of bolt-ons, it obviously limits not only the extra bolt-ons you're having to purchase, but also the amount of bolt-ons you're then having to warranty and keep up to date. So we utilise Access for all of our geospatial hardware, whether we're using it with any of the terminal stations, including the SX10, whether you're using it with any of the GPS. It's a similar platform for the scanners, and also Access for imaging with the UAVs as well. So that's the key thing here, is that when you pick up a Trimble, the idea being in the geospatial world that it's always going to be as a minimum learning curve, because you're going to recognise the software. It's going to be recognisable. It's also now user upgradable. So we've got Trimble Installation Manager, which means at any stage, if a new update comes out, you don't need to send it away or anything. You can simply plug it into your PC, run Installation Manager. What it'll do is it'll look at your controller, work out what warranty you've got, and then upgrade you to the latest available. So it makes it very easy to manage controllers. So what I'm going to talk briefly about now is Trimble Connect. Now, Trimble Connect is essentially a sharing platform. It's cloud-based hosting, all password protected. And it's a visualization tool for collaboration, so you can share data with third-party stakeholders. It's easy access to data, so you don't need to run additional software on your PC. You can actually log in and view data real time. We can synchronize files from the field to the office and back again, and essentially it's just a simplified data management system. So what we've got here, a little example. I've just gone into Google, clicked on my link for Trimble Connect, using my password protected login. And what you'll see, the first thing you'll see is the jobs or the projects I have open to me. So my TSC3, building facade, Westminster survey test. So click to new project. I can give it a name, I can give it an image, I can even give it a start and an end date. So you could use this effectively for planning planning your surveys if you so wish, especially if you've got a larger job where there's going to be lots of information built into it. So within my TSC3 project then I've got a trial job, and you can see there within that job I've got my site B, site A and some coordinates, or I can add and create a new folder. So I'll create a new site, we'll call it connected site for want of a better name. And then using this, you can see my folder. Now what I can do is just drag in any data that I need to send out to the field. So I might have a surveyor out of the field and I just need to send him some coordinates across. So I've just dragged in my control and some setting out points. They're now live sitting on the web. So if I wanted to now, I could send a text, an email to my, or get a phone call to my guy on the ground, say log in, you've got some new data, you need to go to this job. So in Access, from offline, go to Trimble Connect using the same login password, and then straight away now you can see that we're connecting to the site. And what it'll do is it'll give me a drop-down list showing me all the projects available to me. So you can see there my TSC3, SketchUp, Westminster, so the different jobs that have been created. I can now go to Next, and then it selects that project. And then automatically takes you to this accessing screen. So you can see that in my TSC3 that's already on the logger. And what you'll see in a minute is you'll see, there you go, as it's synced up, connected site has just come through. So that's the site that I've just created in the office. You can give it a little tick there, and then straight away it'll start downloading those files. It's sending and receiving information to the field. It is absolutely key for the smooth transition of information. If you've got a guy that's 100 miles away, or even 10 miles away, do we really need them driving all the way back to the office to get information? So I can start a new job with an Access. I can give it a name. I can select the template. If I was on a job, it was a big site, it might be that I've got a template set up specifically for that site, and then have all the linked files that attain to that that's already linked. As a new one, you might not have a template set up, so we can just set it up now and then just add in the link files. So I go to Add, you can go to the Connected Site folder, and there you can see the data that's come straight down from the web. So I can select those and then just bring them through into the project. I can then tick them both on if I wanted to, or actually, if I only need the control software, I can just tick on the control points, I should say. Click on the control, you can see we have a linked file there, and then into Access you can see the name at the top of the screen, and into my map, and there you go. I've got all the points that I've downloaded from the office. Straight away then I can review that. I can use it to set up on, or if I'm already set up on a station, I can use those points to stay down. Trimble Connect, I think the passage of information is becoming more and more important. And I think we'll only see this growing as analysis becomes more a part of what we do. So a very quick whistle-stop tour, if you like, of some of the main features of the S5. We talked a bit about Locate to Protect and the monitoring solution for the S5, and obviously the controllers and Trimble Connect. One thing I'd like to point out, we are still running our Black Friday sale. This will be running to the end of the month. So it's not quite over yet. We've got some fantastic deals with the S5, for example, up to 4,000 off for an S7, to 4,600 and 3.6 off an R10. So deals are still there to be had, shall we say. I'll take some questions in a minute. Before I do, we're not on all of these platforms, but I think on the majority, certainly join the conversation. We're certainly on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and we've got a YouTube channel as well. So we're never far away. If you've ever got any questions, you can get in touch. Please join the conversation. So what I'll do now is, I believe we have some questions come through. Let's have a look. So do all units come with L2P as standard? So yeah, the S series, the S9, the S5, and the S7, we fit L2P to all new units that are sold. We have done since L2P came out, purely because we saw the benefits in it and the savings that could be had for our customers. So yes, all the S series instruments have it. What's the difference between the two targets? So we've got the MT1000 and also the AT360. So the main difference physically between the two is the MT1000 uses prisms, whereas the AT360 actually uses a reflective foil. Sorry. And also the AT360 has the electronic bubble. Now, for me, what I would suggest is, we know that the AT360 is more accurate in the vertical, and I would be inclined to use the AT360 for setting out construction purposes, but I would use the MT1000 more for topographic works. So yeah, if you're in amongst bushes and trees, then the MT1000 does work a lot better. See if there's any other questions. Okay, if there's anyone's got any other questions, feel free to send them in. Failing that, I'd just like to thank you all for coming along. There will be a recording that you can download, and there's also I believe a sheet that you can download attached to the presentation showing our deals. But thank you very much for your time.